let's be real. How often do you actually feel here, in this moment? Not stuck replaying yesterday's mistakes or worrying about tomorrow's chaos, but fully present, fully alive. It's hard, isn't it? The modern world is like a constant tug of war for your attention, emails, social media, deadlines, pulling you in every direction except now. But here's the kicker. Being present isn't just about mindfulness apps or breathing exercises. It's about adopting a mindset, a way of seeing the world that's grounded in something ancient yet timeless. That's where the Stoics come in. Yes, those ancient philosophers who lived centuries ago had strategies that can help you reclaim your focus, your time, and your life. And in this video, I'm breaking down 7 of their most powerful tools to help you do just that. So, if you've ever felt like life is slipping by while your mind is stuck on autopilot, stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have not just a clearer understanding of how to be more present, but practical, actionable strategies to make it happen. And fair warning, some of these ideas might challenge what you think you know about mindfulness and self-awareness, but trust me, it's worth it. Ready to dive in? Let's get started. Number 1. The time prison method. Imagine this. You're staring at your to-do list, and it's glaring back at you like an intimidating wall of impossible tasks. You're scrolling, you're sipping coffee, you're telling yourself you'll get to it in a minute. But you don't. That minute turns into hours, and at the end of the day, you're left with a creeping sense of guilt and frustration. Sound familiar? Well, let me introduce you to a method that's going to sound a little extreme at first, but stay with me. It might just change the game. Here it is. Treat your time like a prison warden. I know, dramatic, right? But think about it. In a prison, every single activity is meticulously scheduled. There's no room for negotiation or procrastination because the structure is the law. What if we applied that kind of discipline, not to restrict our freedom, but to create it? Before you roll your eyes, let's unpack this. We've all been there. That moment when we sit down to start working, but 20 minutes later, we're neck deep in a YouTube rabbit hole about how otters hold hands while sleeping. Cute? Yes. Productive? Not even close. This is why the time prison method works. You assign strict time slots to everything: work, breaks, even that glorious scroll through TikTok. And here's the twist. You stop when the time's up, no matter what. You're done, period. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds rigid, like some corporate efficiency hack. But here's the secret sauce. This rigidity creates liberation. When you give yourself permission to indulge within boundaries, guilt vanishes. You're not wasting time watching otters, you're scheduled to watch them. You own that moment fully, then move on. Let me share a quick story. Last month, I tried this out when I was neck deep in a project and constantly distracted. I scheduled every task to the minute. Writing, 45 minutes. Scrolling Instagram, 10 minutes. Lunch, exactly 20. At first it felt robotic, even stifling, but as the day went on, I noticed something amazing. I was finishing tasks faster, with more focus. By 5 p.m. my work was done, all of it. And I had guilt-free time to relax because I'd already served my time. Here's the beauty of it. This method forces you to be present in whatever you're doing. When the clock is ticking, you're not half working while half thinking about dinner. You're in the zone, doing the thing. And when it's time to stop, you stop, because the prison schedule says so. It's oddly freeing. This isn't about punishing yourself or turning into a productivity machine. It's about reclaiming control over your time and, in turn, your peace of mind. Think about how often you get pulled in 10 directions at once, leaving you frazzled and unsatisfied. The time prison method is your way out. So, give it a shot. Lock your time in. guard it fiercely. Because when you learn to manage your minutes with purpose, you're not just serving time, you're making it serve you. Number 2, the silence purge. Let's face it, we live in a world that never shuts up. Notifications, emails, group chats, streaming services, it's constant. Even when things are quiet, there's always some background noise filling the space. And we've all adapted to it, haven't we? It's like we're afraid of silence. But here's the thing, silence isn't the enemy. In fact, it might just be the cure for the chaos in your head. Enter what I like to call the silence purge. Now, before you roll your eyes, hear me out. I'm not suggesting you run off to a monastery or swear off talking forever, but think about the last time you truly sat in silence. No phone, no music, no chatter. Can't remember? Yeah, same here. We've all been there, filling every quiet moment with noise because silence feels, well, awkward. It's like we're scared of what might bubble up when things get still, and that's exactly why we need it. The silence purge is simple but not easy. Dedicate 1 hour a day, yes, a full hour, to complete silence. No talking, no scrolling, no podcasts, just you and the stillness. It sounds easy until you try it, and suddenly your brain is screaming, check your email. What's happening on Instagram? What if someone needs you? But that discomfort, that's the magic. It's your mind detoxing from all the noise it's drowning in every day. I know what you're thinking. An hour of silence? That's excessive. Trust me, I thought so too. But last month I decided to try it out. I picked an hour after dinner, shut off my phone, and told everyone I was unavailable. At first it was brutal. My thoughts felt like a swarm of bees, buzzing around with reminders, worries, and random song lyrics. I kept glancing at the clock, convinced the hour must be over. Spoiler, it wasn't. But then, about 30 minutes in, something shifted. The noise started to fade, and I felt lighter. My mind wasn't racing, it was just being. That night, I realized how much I was missing by avoiding silence. It's in those quiet moments that clarity happens. You start to notice the things you've been too distracted to see, the solution to a problem, the weight of an emotion you've been ignoring, or even just the simple beauty of breathing. Silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. The beauty of the silence purge is that it's not about deprivation, it's about liberation. It's about reclaiming space in your mind that's been hijacked by constant input. When you stop letting noise dictate your attention, you start to feel more present, more grounded, and honestly, more sane. This isn't just about clearing your head, it's about protecting your peace. Silence gives you the chance to reconnect with yourself, to remember what really matters amidst all the distractions. So, give it a try. Embrace the awkwardness, the discomfort, and the stillness, because on the other side of the noise, there's clarity, calm, and a version of you that's been waiting to be heard. Number 3. Radical gratitude drills. Let's start with a truth that's going to feel a little uncomfortable. Most of us take our lives for granted. Don't worry, I'm not judging. This is human nature. We get so wrapped up in what's missing, what's wrong, or what's next that we barely stop to appreciate what we already have. But what if I told you the key to feeling more alive isn't adding anything new? It's simply learning to cherish what's already there. Enter radical gratitude drills. Now I know what you're thinking. Gratitude? Really? Another cliche about writing down 3 things I'm thankful for? Nope. We're taking this to a whole new level. This isn't about listing blessings, it's about imagining them gone. Stay with me here. Picture your favorite person in the world. Got them in your mind. Now imagine waking up tomorrow and they're no longer there. Just like that. I know, it's heavy. But before you close this tab thinking I'm some doom and gloom advocate, let me explain why this works. We've all been there, rushing through life, frustrated over minor inconveniences like traffic or a spilled coffee, forgetting how good we have it. Then something happens, a breakup, a health scare, a job loss, and suddenly we realize how much we took for granted. Radical gratitude drills are about experiencing that awakening without the actual loss. It's about creating a moment where you look at your life and feel, deep in your bones, wow, I'm lucky to have this. Here's how I learned this the hard way. A few years ago, I got into a fight with my dad over something trivial. I don't even remember what it was. We didn't speak for days. During that time, I overheard a friend talking about losing their own dad unexpectedly. It hit me like a brick. I couldn't stop thinking, what if I lost my dad tomorrow? Would this fight even matter? The thought gutted me, but it also pushed me to call him, apologize, and tell him how much he meant to me. That moment changed everything. This practice works because it forces you to confront life's impermanence, and in doing so, it makes you value what you have more deeply. When you imagine losing your partner, that annoying habit of theirs suddenly becomes endearing. When you picture life without your job, even the hard days feel like a privilege. It's not about being morbid. It's about sharpening your focus on the beauty hiding in plain sight. The beauty of radical gratitude drills is that they don't just change your perspective, they change your actions. You start treating people better, savoring moments longer, and sweating the small stuff less. It's not easy, it takes courage to go there emotionally, but the reward is worth it. This is about reclaiming your ability to fully appreciate your life, your relationships, and your experiences. It's about realizing that every hug, every sunrise, every cup of coffee is a fleeting gift. So, take a moment today. Close your eyes. Imagine losing something or someone you cherish. Let the gratitude hit you like a tidal wave. Then open your eyes and let it guide how you live. Because here's the thing, life doesn't owe us anything. The fact that we get to wake up, breathe, and connect is a miracle in itself. Radical gratitude drills remind us of that truth. They ground us, humble us, and, most importantly, make us fall in love with our lives all over again. Number 4. The daily disconnection ritual. Here's a wild thought. What if the secret to feeling more connected wasn't adding more to your life, but actually stepping away from it? Sounds counterintuitive, right? But think about it. How often do you feel genuinely present, like fully there in a moment, not half listening while scrolling or mentally crafting your to-do list during a conversation? If you're like most people, the answer is not often. That's where the daily disconnection ritual comes in. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, oh great, another lecture about screen time, this isn't about shaming you into deleting social media or throwing your phone into the ocean. I get it. Technology isn't going anywhere, and honestly, it's pretty amazing. But the problem isn't our devices, it's our inability to unplug from them. The constant notifications, the endless doom scrolling, it's like we've been hijacked by the noise. And you know the feeling, right? That subtle hum of anxiety, that nagging sense that you're always on and never quite at ease. The daily disconnection ritual is about reclaiming that peace. Here's the deal. Carve out 30 minutes, just 30 minutes, every single day to completely disconnect. No phone, no TV, no emails, not even music. Just you, unplugged, with nothing demanding your attention. And before you say, I don't have time, let me remind you that you probably spent at least that much scrolling through memes or checking if someone liked your post today. I started this ritual during a particularly hectic time in my life. I was juggling work deadlines, family obligations, and trying to maintain some semblance of a social life. I felt like my brain was always running on fumes, and honestly, I was snapping at people over the dumbest things. One day, a friend said, You need to stop being available to everyone all the time. That hit me. I realized I wasn't leaving any space to just be. So, I set aside half an hour every evening. I'd turn off my phone, step away from my laptop, and just exist. Sometimes I'd sit on the porch and watch the sunset. Other days I'd write in a journal or simply close my eyes and focus on my breathing. At first, it felt weird, almost uncomfortable. My mind would race, tempting me to just check one thing. But as the days went on, something incredible happened. My thoughts slowed down. I felt calmer, more centered. I even started noticing little things I'd been missing, like how the air smells after it rains, or the way my cat curls up next to me. The beauty of the daily disconnection ritual is that it's ridiculously simple, yet it has a profound impact. It's not about rejecting the modern world. It's about creating boundaries so it doesn't consume you. In those 30 minutes, you're reminded that your worth isn't tied to how many messages you reply to or how much you accomplish. It's about reconnecting with yourself and the world around you in a way that feels grounding. This ritual isn't just a break, it's a reset. It's a way to clear the mental clutter and find clarity amidst the chaos. And trust me, once you experience the calm it brings, you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. So, give it a shot. Turn off the noise, embrace the quiet, and rediscover the beauty in the stillness. Because sometimes, disconnecting is the most powerful way to truly connect with yourself, with life, and with what really matters. Number 5. Self-imposed micro-adversities. Here's a provocative question. When was the last time you intentionally made your day harder, not because you had to, but because you chose to? Sounds counterproductive, right? Life is already challenging enough. Why would anyone willingly add to the pile? But stick with me here. This isn't about making life miserable. It's about unlocking resilience, clarity, and confidence in the most unexpected way. You know the feeling. You're stuck in your comfort zone, and while it's cozy, it's also stifling. Maybe you avoid hard conversations because they're uncomfortable, skip workouts because you're tired, or opt for shortcuts because they're, well, easier. We've all been there. The problem is that over time, avoiding small challenges makes us less capable of handling bigger ones. It's like emotional and mental atrophy. We lose the strength to deal with life's inevitable curveballs because we never practice discomfort. This is where self-imposed micro-adversities come into play. It's a simple yet powerful concept. Deliberately introduce small, manageable challenges into your daily life. The goal? To flex your resilience muscle and remind yourself that you're stronger than you think. It could be taking a cold shower, skipping the elevator for the stairs, or speaking up in a meeting when you'd normally stay quiet. These aren't life-changing acts on their own, but collectively, they rewire your brain to see discomfort as a growth opportunity instead of a threat. Let me share a story. A while back, I realized I was stuck in a rut. Work was predictable, my routines were unchallenged, and I was living on autopilot. So I decided to shake things up with micro-adversities. I started with something small, taking cold showers every morning. At first, I hated it. My mind screamed, "Why are you doing this?" But after a few days, I noticed something interesting. That initial shock faded faster, and I started feeling more energized and mentally sharp throughout the day. That tiny act of discomfort was spilling over into other areas of my life. One day, I found myself in a meeting, facing a decision. Normally, I'd sit quietly and go along with the majority to avoid conflict. But this time, something clicked. I leaned in, voiced my thoughts, and even challenged an idea I didn't agree with. The adrenaline rush was real, but so was the sense of empowerment. That single moment came from weeks of intentionally training my brain to handle discomfort in small doses. Self-imposed micro-adversities aren't about punishing yourself or chasing unnecessary hardship. It's about choosing to face controlled challenges so that when life throws you uncontrolled ones, you're ready. It's about saying, I've been here before and I know I can handle this. And the best part? You don't need to overhaul your entire life. Start small. Skip the coffee you need in the morning, leave your phone at home for an hour, or push yourself to do one more rep at the gym. This isn't just about building physical toughness. It's about mental fortitude. It's about proving to yourself in countless tiny ways that you can handle discomfort and emerge stronger. And with each small victory, you'll feel that spark of confidence grow. You'll stand a little taller, speak a little louder, and face challenges with a quiet assurance that says, I've got this. So, the next time you're tempted to choose the easiest path, ask yourself, what small challenge can I take on today? Because resilience isn't built in the big moments. It's forged in the small, deliberate ones. Choose the cold shower. Take the stairs. Speak your truth. These micro-adversities might seem minor, but they're the stepping stones to a stronger, braver, and more capable you. Number 6. The 5-minute mortality meditation. Let me start with a question that might make you pause. What if this were your last day on Earth? No, I'm not trying to be morbid, and I promise this isn't going to be as heavy as it sounds. But really, have you ever stopped to think about how temporary everything is? Your routines, your worries, even your existence? It's a jarring thought, isn't it? And yet, there's something profoundly clarifying about it. I know you might be thinking, why would I want to dwell on something so uncomfortable? Trust me, this isn't about fear. It's about perspective, and it might just change how you live your life. We've all had days where we're bogged down by the small stuff. Emails piling up, errands left undone, that one awkward conversation replaying in our heads. It's so easy to get consumed by the noise of daily life that we forget what truly matters. But think about this. If you knew you had only 24 hours left, would you really care about the dishes in the sink? Or the fact that someone cut you off in traffic? Probably not. You'd focus on what's meaningful. Your connections, your passions, the little moments of joy you usually take for granted. This is where the 5-minute mortality meditation comes in. It's exactly what it sounds like. 5 minutes a day to remind yourself that life is fleeting. Before you panic, this isn't about sitting in a dark room contemplating doom. It's about grounding yourself in the present by reflecting on the impermanence of life. It's a simple practice. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, if today were my last, how would I want to show up? What would truly matter? And just like that, you're stripping away the trivial and uncovering what's essential. I started doing this a few months ago after reading a story about a monk who meditated on mortality daily. At first, it felt strange. I'd sit there thinking, am I being too dramatic? But then, something shifted. One morning, after my meditation, I called a friend I hadn't spoken to in years. We laughed, reminisced, and reconnected. Later that day, when my toddler spilled juice on my laptop, yes, my laptop, I surprised myself by shrugging it off. Normally, I'd have spiraled into frustration, but that day, it felt insignificant compared to the bigger picture. The beauty of this practice is how quickly it works. It's like a mental reset button, pulling you out of autopilot and snapping you back to what's real. It's not about living in fear of death. It's about appreciating life more deeply because of it. The next time you're overwhelmed or irritated, try it. Pause, breathe, and ask yourself, if this moment were my last, how would I want to handle it? You'll be amazed at how your perspective shifts. This isn't about dismissing your struggles. They're valid. It's about reframing them. When you view life through the lens of impermanence, even the hard moments gain clarity. They become opportunities to grow, to connect, to love. This is about reclaiming your time, your energy, and your focus. It's about living intentionally, with gratitude and grace, even in the messy moments. So here's your takeaway. Life is finite, but that's exactly what makes it precious. 5 minutes is all it takes to remind yourself of that truth. Let it guide you to live more boldly, love more deeply, and let go of what doesn't serve you. Because at the end of the day, what matters isn't how long we live, but how fully we do. Number 7. Deliberate no-saying. Here's a thought to chew on. Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. Let that sink in for a second. Your time, energy, and focus aren't endless. So why do we act like they are? Now, I know what you might be thinking, but saying no is hard. What if I upset someone? What if I miss out on an opportunity? Trust me, I get it. But here's the thing. Deliberate no-saying isn't about rejecting everything or becoming difficult to deal with. It's about choosing yourself, your priorities, your peace, your life, over the relentless pressure to please everyone else. We've all been there, haven't we? That moment when you agree to something you don't really want to do, all because you don't want to seem rude or ungrateful. Maybe it's taking on extra work when you're already drowning. Maybe it's saying yes to a social event when all you want is a quiet night in. You smile and nod, but inside you're already exhausted. Sound familiar? It's the guilt-driven, autopilot yes that gets us every time. Here's where deliberate no-saying comes in. This isn't your typical advice about setting boundaries that leaves you feeling even more overwhelmed. No, this is about reframing no as a tool of empowerment, not rejection. Saying no isn't shutting people out, it's inviting yourself in. It's carving out space for the things that actually matter to you. The trick is to get comfortable with discomfort, because yes, it might feel awkward at first. But let me tell you, that discomfort is temporary. The peace that follows, that's priceless. I'll share a quick story to illustrate this. A while ago, a colleague asked me to help with a project that wasn't part of my role. Normally, I'd have said yes out of sheer habit, but I had a deadline looming and barely enough hours in the day. So I tried something new. I paused, took a breath, and said, "I wish I could help, but I've got a full plate right now." I braced myself for backlash, but you know what? They were fine. They respected it. And the world didn't end. That simple no gave me the bandwidth to focus on what actually needed my attention, and I delivered my best work because of it. The beauty of deliberate no-saying is how liberating it feels. It's not about being selfish. It's about being intentional. It's about recognizing that your time and energy are precious and treating them as such. Each no is a yes to something else, your well-being, your goals, your values. And when you start saying no deliberately, something magical happens. People begin to respect your boundaries because you've taught them to. So, the next time you feel that familiar pressure to say yes, pause. Ask yourself, is this a true yes or a guilt yes? And if it's the latter, try saying no with kindness and clarity. I appreciate you asking, but I can't take that on right now. It's that simple, and it works. This is about reclaiming your life, your time, your focus, and your energy. Saying no isn't weakness, it's strength, it's self-respect. It's drawing a line that says, I matter too. And when you embrace deliberate no-saying, you'll find something incredible. By saying no to what drains you, you create room for what fulfills you. Your space, your time, your peace. It's all worth protecting. So go ahead, give yourself permission to say no, and watch how your life transforms. Thank you so much for watching. I truly hope this video gave you some valuable insights and tools to help you become more present in your everyday life. If you found even one of these Stoic strategies helpful, it would mean the world if you could give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow and reach more people who could use these ideas. And if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you won't miss future videos like this. Also, if you know someone who's been feeling distracted or overwhelmed lately, share this video with them. It could be exactly what they need to refocus and reconnect with the present. And let's keep the conversation going. Leave a comment below and share your thoughts. Have you tried any of these strategies before? Or do you have your own techniques for staying grounded? I'd love to hear your experiences and insights. Remember, being present isn't just about living in the moment. It's about creating a life that truly feels like yours. Every small step you take toward mindfulness is a step toward reclaiming your peace, your focus, and your purpose. Until next time, stay grounded, stay intentional, and keep striving to live fully, right here, right now. See you in the next video.